Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another First Division show. We've got the two Keiths today. It's a double Keith. No, Gavin. What's the story, Keith?
Oh well, how are you?
I'm not too bad. A lot of Keiths there in one sentence, wasn't there? Look, we have to start off in Kerry, I think, to be honest with you, because look, there was again goals galore in the First Division this week, and it's great to see. But we're going to start off in Kerry. Obviously, your club, Bray Wanderers, went down to Kerry, and I suppose nicked the results probably the wrong word, but came out the right side of a five goal. I suppose thriller, really. I mean, was it 1-0 half time? Sorry, Williams had given Kerry the lead, hadn't he, right in half time? So it was 0-0 up to that moment. And there was four goals within 5 minutes, which was just crazy. Grogan equalising for Bray. I gonna butcher this. Aladzanisi.
I'll
Uh,
let, I'll let this snoozy, I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seriously, yeah. Look, if there's any Kerry fans, let us know in the comments. But although you won't be able to really because it's only a comment section, but maybe you could break it down first. But he gave them the 2-1 lead in 72, which was a minute later. Craven on 74 makes it 2-2, 2-2, and then Magnuson on 75. So that's first goal. It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
Bray puts them 3-2 up and gives them the win. But there was four goals in 5 second half minutes there, which is just crazy. A couple of headers actually from Bray with Grogan and Craven, wasn't it? But Kerry, the player sent off though in 40 minutes. Nathan Gleeson picking up a second yellow card, and you must have thought, here we go again a little bit, because they were behind twice, Bray, in the game against 10 men. But obviously they came back and won the game. But big result for Bray. But I get the feeling if they didn't win it in those circumstances, might have been questions asked, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, quite early on, but like you expect, like you're against 10 men the previous week against UCD. Now, obviously, UCD are going to be thereabouts this season. And then to go against 10 men again, and then for them to take the lead just before half time. Now, what a stunner.
Yeah,
Absolute crack
actually,
ball from William.
goal, yeah.
I don't think any keeper saving it, but I mean, Ian Ryan must have got them in. But like even after that, Keith, like Bray's first goal only came in the 71st minute. So it's a good 25 minutes after half time, and they kind of only got going. I didn't get to see the game. I didn't travel, and I
By
had
the
to
way,
wait
the
TV.
weather, I must mention as well.
Yeah,
The weather was
there was a
just
40 minute delay
mm,
because of a hailstorm and
mm.
thunder and lightning and stuff. So, but it's a big win in the sense that Bray needed it. But I said last week I was expecting a 3-0 reversal for Bray, but fair play to Kerry. Bray equalised with the Grogan header, and then they took advantage of the conditions for the corner. It was kind of like just a little pitching wedge that you needed to put into the box, and the wind took it and was headed into the goal. So Craven's equaliser then a couple of minutes later. Great finish from Craven. He has that in his locker. And then Margison, obviously his first league goal, he scored
Yeah.
against Shells earlier on the Leinster Senior Cup. But you know, you'll take a 3-2, you'll take a 1-0, you take anything down in Kerry. Particularly in the conditions that they came across.
Yeah, and as well, Gavin was saying it last week that he felt that, I think you said 3-0, and he was kind of saying he felt it'll be a more difficult game than you thought, having seen Kerry and Cork. I just wonder with Kerry, I get the feeling it might be a bit better. Okay, people might say they couldn't be worse than last year, you know what I mean? But I think they're going to pick up more results this year. I really do. Do you?
Yeah, I think so. Looking at the game against Cork City last week, 2-0 loss. But like, you know, this week 3-2 against Bray. They've played two of the teams that are expected to be thereabouts at the end of the season, and they haven't embarrassed themselves. Obviously, they would have liked to have hung on for at least a draw on Friday night, but you know, some people say it's hard to play against 10 men. For Bray, it seems that way at the moment.
Mm. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, at the same time, though, I suppose Ian Ryan would point to, yeah, we were down against 10 men, but we went 2-1 down after 72 minutes, and a couple of minutes later we were 3-2 up. So look, there's little bits of positives he's going to point to there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And the two of Bray's goals were from set pieces. I think Shane Griffin took the corner for Grogan's header, and then Shane Griffin took the free kick for
Mm.
Margison's header. So it's good to score from set pieces, particularly when you have a big side. We've a couple of big players in our side. Um, The disappointing thing is Cole Amhumran went off injured in the first half. I'm not sure how serious that will be. I'll be worrying for. I said to you a couple of weeks ago that Bray's squad I think is a little bit light. So injuries like that, they obviously won't benefit from. They need to keep a strong starting 11. So it's a bit worrying going into the Longford game this week.
Yeah. Culver Ramblers 3, Athlone Town 3, and I was going to say Coleman's Park, but of course it was in Turner's Cross, and I don't think the pitch was in great condition either. Cork mightn't be happy with that because now it's going to be used a couple of weeks in a row, isn't it? Friday type thing. But anyway, 3-3 draw. And I thought Athlone were going to do a bit of a Wexford here. They were 2 up after 34 minutes. Ebbe and Hand had scored. And then Colva got back into the game with Evers. But Connolly scored a fantastic goal actually in 63 minutes above Athlone. Back in front into the game, 3-1 up, but Cove showed great resolve, and Dale Holland scored on 70 minutes a good goal, and Bosniak a very good equaliser in 78. Athlone's games are going to be good to watch this year, I think.
Yeah, we said it last week, didn't we? We just don't know what Athlone's going to show up, and as you already said, they went 2-0 up before half time. You said, "Oh, here we go again," but same old with Athlone. They just couldn't defend. They couldn't defend. In fairness, Cove couldn't defend the first half. Two free headers from Ebe or Dean Ebb and Dylan Hand. Terrible defending. For the second, fantastic cross in from the left hand side, and you still have to put the ball in the net, but it was probably it was a simple header for Dylan Hand. But in fairness, Cove came back into the game, and then Aaron Connolly scores 3-1. What a fantastic strike! It was almost goals of the weekend in the First Division, never mind the Premier.
Yeah.
But and then Dale Holland scores, gets it 3-2, and then you say, "Oh, you have a chance." Will the keeper be disappointed with that? I'm not sure if you've seen the highlights.
Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
The pitch may not have helped.
No.
Did skid along, but and then the equaliser, and at that stage, your Cover probably thinking, "Oh, we can go on and win this," but finish 3-3, and I think that's what you're going to get with Athlone this season: a good performance one week and a half good performance, and then -1 second half.
Yeah, I think the quicker Cove get back to Coleman's, the better. I know they came back from 3-1 down, but the crowd was quite small, and it's going to seem smaller at Turner's Cross, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I don't know how many were there during the night, but
someone said 300 and something.
Yeah, you're dead right. Like Cork City get 4,000 or 5,000 at their games. When and it doesn't look well on TV, and it's
even in the highlights. Actually, I kind of thought that, and I kind of went researching. Then, what I mean? Jeez, I says, are they on the other side, stand or something? Yeah. But it seemed very quiet as well, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, Cover obviously digging up their pitch, and they're trying to get a bit. But they've needed it for the last couple of years, in fairness, because their pitch is pretty bad condition. But no. Look, if they have to do it, they have to do it. I was expecting more there, given Cork City were away from home against Finn Harps, but it didn't turn out like that.
The weather as well wasn't great, so Cork City fans might have said, we won't be bothered to watch us on telly, basically, in Finn Harps or whatever. I'd say that helped as well. But as for Athlone, quickly there, even though they'd be disappointed, at the same time, they probably would have taken 4 points on the road in the first 2 games. Everything comes into context, doesn't it? But still, it's not too bad, obviously, 4 points in the road, first 2 games.
It's not too bad, but when you're 3-1 up away from home, you just cut the game out. You don't make any mistakes, and
I don't think they're capable of playing that way, though, do you?
Sorry?
I don't think the Athlone are capable of playing that way. I think they're very, let's say, gun-ho as such, aren't they? They're very like...
Again, who's to know what Athlone? We just don't know what
we don't know. Yeah.
We'll only find that out kind of 10, 15 games into the season, what type of Athlone are actually going to show up this season. But their manager really should have just shut up shop. You take 3 points away from home. You've 6 points in 2 games, and you're top of the league. But obviously, it didn't end up like that. Culver off the mark after a disappointing result last week for them.
Yeah, finished Finn Harps 1, Cork City 1, and Ballybuffet. Eidegan again with a goal in 17 minutes. He was brilliant in the first game. Doherty penalty on 70 minutes for Cork, and obviously both teams came into this game with 3 points. But I think Finn Harps are probably tougher this year. I think I gathered that from you and Gavin as well. I don't think a point from Cork's point of view early doors is bad going up to Ballybuffet by any means, is it?
No, I think any team would take any type of result up in Ballybuffet. It's a tough place to go. We've already discussed it last week. The pitch isn't in good condition at the best of times. But looking at this game, Keith, what was I'm not sure what Cork player was trying to back pass the goalkeeper at the halfway line. What was he at? And then, in fairness to Success, good finish. Good finish. But
it looks bad that way, but as you say, you have to blame the defender or midfielder. I couldn't see who it was actually, and they didn't mention in commentary. I was trying to see, I couldn't quite see, but yeah, it's poor, isn't it? Especially in a pitch like that at this time of year.
In fairness, the ball doesn't travel very far either. So the keeper to come out so far, he didn't really give his centre halves an opportunity to actually get back with Success. No. So if he had stayed within his area, there may have been a chance that Cork could have cut out the danger. But a good finish from Success. I'm disappointed Gavin's not on, because I think Cork, that's 3 goals now in 2 games for Doherty. Are they going to rely on him a little bit too much this season? All Cork's goals this season have been scored by one player. So, but look, yeah, a point on the road up to Ballybuffet. It's a long hard trip for Cork, particularly. So, I'm sure Tim Clancy would be happy enough with the draw.
I mean, Cottle O'Sullivan apparently was outstanding again for Cork. He's only 16, but you're right about the goals actually, Doherty. But they look like they're a team. Obviously, they lost Rory Keating clearly, so we don't really know if. I'm not saying someone's going to come in and replace Keating, but you'd like to think there's some goals in their team. But you've got the likes of Uma up front, but he's only a youngster, isn't he? He's going to be coming in and out of the side, and you've still got Murphy around, but he was never a prolific goal scorer. So you're right. Have they got goals in the team? Sean Murray, maybe you're looking at to provide goals because he's capable of doing that too. But yeah, right in that sense. But they probably look better at the back this year, though. Cork, maybe arguably with the likes of Charlie Lyons coming in there, who Gavin rightfully said actually last week is an excellent sign, and I think he's a really good player actually. So a really solid defender. So yeah, it's interesting. But as for Finn Harps, they've obviously, yeah, I think they look just stronger than last year. As in, last year was weird, wasn't it, with Finn Harps? They kind of brought in a lot. Dave Rogers kind of brought in a lot of players without knowing the league. Do you know what I mean? But they're kind of going a bit in-house now at the moment as such, aren't they, with the players that they've brought in and players that maybe, like Edigan, for example, was in the league. So they know the players. I think that was the approach they should have taken maybe last year too. But look, they went for that approach. But I think that makes them a bit stronger, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and Colley coming in there as a seasoned pro in the League of Ireland. Never mind the First Division, But I think with Rogers last season, I think as much as I like Dave Rogers, I think he spoke too much. If you get me, he was trying to satisfy everybody, and every week he was on Twitter. He was saying this, that, and the other. We'll get there. We'll get here. We'll get there. Whereas Darren Murphy, he impressed me at the back end of the last season. We played for Harps late on, and he impressed me. He's a bit like Ollie Horgan. The way he talks, and he's on the backs of the players. He's on the backs of the officials. So. If that works for him, that works for him. But I think you're right, Keith. I think Finn Harps are going to be a little bit stronger this year.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as well, there's certain managers that suit identity of a club. There's certain managers that don't. I think they thought about Murphy probably last year as well, and maybe kind of went with something different because Horgan was gone, and realised, look, we'll give it a go, and it didn't work, and they're gone back to type. There's an element of that, isn't there? It's just, there's a DNA at Harps that suits them, and I always think clubs should stick to whatever that DNA is. But you're right, he's come in, he's done a good job. He knows the club, he knows the players, he knows the league. So the likes of Cawley and players like that, very important. But decent result for them, and you never know, maybe they could do better than we think as well, Keith. I'm not sure, but what do you think there?
With Finn Harps, look, it was a terrible season last season for them. Absolutely terrible. And talking to O'Sheen over the winter period, that's one of the worst performances ever in the League of Ireland. So I think they finished, was it second bottom or third bottom? I think they ended up
finished second bottom in the end, didn't they?
You're propping up the table
after getting relegated from the Premier Division,
Yeah. So I think you hit the nail on the head. They took a chance on Dave Rogers. They took a chance on players, bringing in players, but it obviously didn't work. So look, as you said, Murphy, he fits the mold. Finn Harps over the years have had characters managers. Patsy McGowan in the 90s, you know, the 80s and 90s. Noel King has been up there, you know. So it's look, I as a Brave fan, I don't like going to Ballybofey because I know what you're going to get. You're going to get a tough game, and not a
And
lot
I
of
also
teams
think, by the way, their style of play has got more direct again as well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Not to
absolutely.
play.
Yeah, and look, if that works for them,
Yeah,
fantastic. You know, if it gets results, whereas
absolutely.
with Roger, you know, if they were trying to pass the ball with Rogers, it didn't get results. So, you just revert to sort, don't you?
Yeah, Belfield, a little bit of a surprise this one in my opinion, but Treaty are always in this, to be fair. UCD nil, Treaty United 1. Every time you think they're going to struggle, you know what I mean, end the corner with a goal in 73 minutes. It was just basically a ball that was launched forward, essentially. Speaking of
Yeah,
launch, this was really launched, and Curran was in the box, and you know yourself, he's dangerous in the box, scores, and gives Treaty what I would say is a very good win, and they're the only team, the two divisions, with a 100% record.
fantastic. And you know, Tommy Barrett won't like me after putting. I think I had Treaty second last, but you know, they just keep
Well,
going. They
you
just
might be
keep
right, yeah.
performing.
But yeah.
Might be right. Yeah, maybe. You know, but
Mm.
look, and the
I'd
Curran's
say
off
he
the match.
loves that. Sorry, Key. I'd say he loves that though. I think he's the type of manager who loves, like, he'd nearly get off on people saying where you're going to finish second bottom or whatever. Like I think they feed on that treaty though.
Yeah, he probably thrives on that
Yeah.
kind of level of criticism. And you know, looking at the goal, usually you'll probably be a little bit disappointed. You know, it's a long ball, as you said, over the top, and you know, Curran gets in. Great finish, in fairness, but
Oh, it is.
um, and obviously he had earlier missed a penalty as well.
Mm.
So definitely the result of the weekend, I think, in the first division. You know, given UCD outperformed Bragg the previous week with 10 men, I was expecting a little bit more from them, but
Mm.
no, fair play to Treaty, 6 from 6, and they rock on. I'm not sure who they're playing next week, but
Absolutely. So next week, obviously Wexford and Longford Town was called off. So on to next week, and Wexford will be home again. But we'll start off there. Why not? Wexford are home to Cove, Keith. Obviously, it's a long way for Wexford because of their defeat, isn't it? Their 3-0 defeat on the opening day of the season. But back to Ferry Carrick Park against Cove. Yeah, I mean, how do you see this one?
like James Kelly wouldn't have been happy with the wait, you know, because he would have wanted to play the next day after the Athlone
Yeah,
reversal. So
yeah.
you know, I said in last week's video that I was expecting Wexford to bounce back against Longford. With the 2 week gap, you're not so sure anymore, you know. And Cove then off the back of coming back from a 3-1 deficit against Athlone, you know, you just don't know with them either. So I think Wexford will win the match, but
Mm.
I'm not sure if he'd be as comfortable as I expected the previous.
I
I'll go 2-0.
Yeah, you'd like to think from their point of view, Aaron Dobbs will be back, and he's obviously a massive player for them. I think Thomas Alua was on the bench, but that's a
Yeah.
choice to put him on the bench, isn't it? But yeah, you'd like to think Dobbs will be back. Cove, I think, won't be as good this year. I think we've said that before, but I still think they'll be plucky in games, so it won't be an easy game. But they kind of Wexford kind of in a sense not have to win. I always think that's silly early in the season. But psychologically for themselves, they'll feel like, look, we need to get a win here. So I think, what score did you say? I think 2-1 Wexford.
I'd say 2-0. I think
Yeah.
look, there's lots of goals going around in both divisions, you know, so both teams seem to be scoring against each other. So yeah, no, I'll go with 2-0. I think Wexford will have too much. And defensively Wexford are good. Ethan Boyle in the back line, you know, so if he can keep them together, I don't think Cove score. I don't think Cove have, I know they scored 3 last week. I don't think they have a massive threat up top.
No, especially with
Because
Doherty.
they lost with Weru, you know, and
we're where we,
stuff, you know, so
yeah. No, they're big losses. Kerry FC and Treaty United Menhog Park, and you know, it'd be interesting if Kerry stopped Treaty's 100% record. I wouldn't rule it out. It's a difficult one.
yeah, it is. Look, I was speaking to one of the guys, Treaty fan Jason Shannon, and he said there's a big crowd going to the match from Treaty. So how do you call it? It's, you know, it's Kerry. It could be a draw, it could be a 0-0 draw, it could be a 3-3 draw, it could be whatever. I think Treaty will have a little bit too much. I think if Endercorn's on form, but Kerry are, it's hard to know. It's so hard to know.
Yeah, they played Treaty last year and they lost both games, which kind of isn't really a surprise. You know what I mean? Last year they didn't get many points, but from their point of view, like in the Bray match, I suppose they were 2-1 up. I know Bray, Kerry down to 10 men, but then to be 3-2 down a couple of minutes later, you just wonder if they see the finishing line, did they get a little bit nervous? Maybe that's the case too. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think Treaty a bit more threat going forward and probably playing with a lot of confidence. I think it'd be tight though, but maybe Treaty 2-1.
Yeah, I think I'll go. I think I'll go 1-0 Treaty. I think it'll be a scrappy game. On the all weather, games on all weathers I hate them. I think the pitches are atrocious, but yeah, I think Endercorn scores again for me, 1-0 to Treaty.
Finn Harps on Athlone, and be interesting to see a lot of the new players will for Athlone get their first trip to Finn Harps, so be interesting to see how they deal with that. But I'd fancy Finn Harps for this one, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think I do as well myself. I think Athlone, even though they went 3 up, you're like, conceding 3 goals on the road, So Finn Harps won't give them the chances that Cove gave them. So they'll have to be on the ball here, But again, we've discussed it multiple times. Piero was a due last season.
Who's going to give this season?
Yeah. They've signed so many players. There's bound to be one that sticks out, So I'm actually going to go with a 2-2 draw here. I think Athlone have the threat. I think the score against Finn Harps, but I think Finn Harps will score. I think Success has started quite well this season, and Athlone really at the back, conceding 3 to Cove. I think Finn Harps will put a couple past them, but I think it'll be a draw. I'll go with a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in this game as well. Usually when I say that's 0-0, but I'd be shocked if this is 0-0. I think
I'm contradicting myself because I said that Finn Harps won't give Athlone as many chances as Cove.
Well, they mightn't. They just might take 2 of them though. Yeah, 2-2 is not a bad shout actually, but I'll go with Finn Harps. I went with 2-1 the other 2 games. I can't go 2-1 again, so we'll say 3-2 Finn Harps, but 2-2 is not a bad shout either. Cork City and UCD is an interesting one actually. Turner's Cross, obviously, and it's hard to see the pitch being absolutely great condition here, but you're right when you're talking about your goal threat at Cork. Now, they might prove to be wrong, but obviously Jack Doherty's a goal threat. But you are looking at the team in certain areas of midfield. You're kind of going, can they score goals? But I think they'd be tighter at the back. UCD, I think they might sit a little bit in this game and might look to hit Cork on the counter. They have done that. They did do that a bit in the Premier Division last season, believe it or not, too. It's a difficult one to judge. I think maybe Cork might pinch 1-0.
I think if Cork get the crowd behind them like they did in the first game against Kerry, I think if they can get 4,000 in the gate, I think UCD will be overawed by that. If Doherty's on form, everything seems to go through Doherty. He doesn't necessarily play as a centre forward. He kind of plays in the number 10 role, So if he can get the ball into his feet and he can. I just can't see anything. Like it's so early to be making predictions as such. But UCD, great performance in Bray with 10 men. Poor last week, 1-0 losing to Treaty. I think Cork will fancy their chances here. Tim Clancy will have them. I'm not sure if any of their players are back from injury or not, but but why do they need any of those players back from injury when the kids are doing as well as they're doing? So look, 4 points from 6 for Cork. I think they'll end the weekend with 7 from 3. I think they'll have a little bit too much of UCD.
Yeah, and at the Carlisle Bray take on Longford Town, of course. Chris Lyons got 2 goals in his first game for Longford, and he's playing against his former club. And you've got the flip of Magerson, because it feels like they've essentially swapped. He's going to be playing again. And both of them have scored this season, so be interested to see how they'll both do this season, particularly if they're injury free, and they've had problems, both players actually, in the last year or two especially. But I I think this might be a tight one. I sense there might be too many goals in this one. It could be completely wrong, but how are you seeing that one?
Um, I don't know. It frightens me that Chris Lyons coming back to Bray. He's bound to score. It's just written there. It's just
And
he's bound.
I'm sure he's on penalties as well. So,
And I don't think he left Bray on very good terms. So it's like I do see him around Bray the odd time, so I might trip him up or whatever when I see him. But we
would you
say
mind?
I think what concerns me is that if Cole's not back,
Mm,
what do we play in the back line with Cantwell and like Max Murphy came back in last week, so
mm,
I think he went with a 4-4-2. I'm not sure, but the player that's impressed me so far this season, Griffin. If we can get Griffin on the ball,
yeah.
He'll make opportunities. And Magerson obviously took one last week,
Mm,
so the more opportunities that Griffin makes, the more chances we have of scoring. So,
mm,
but in saying that, Lions against Bray, Magerson against Longford, as you said, he'll be
mm.
out and about to kill off Longford. So I'll go with 2-1 Bray.
Yeah, I just wondered to myself if Bray a greater goal threat in general, because obviously the Feeney as well, like, you know what I mean? Whereas with Longford, I'm not sure. We'll have to see as the season goes on. But yeah, I think I agree with you as well. I think Bray might pinch this, but just 1-0. So, geez, I've gone for no draws. That's very surprising for me this week. But anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comments at home. Give us a few predictions, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Brilliant. Brilliant.